Yo, what's going on, y'all? I got the homie Blaze the God, Caking Daily. This is Hustle Culture, man. For those who don't know me, y'all, it's fresh. Today we talking about value versus worth, and we're gonna break those two down, man. Let's go into the first audio real quick.
When you don't know how much you are worth, you will sell yourself cheap. Once I leveled up, people began to respect me more. Know your value and then add tax. Louis Vuitton does not go on sale. Fendi does not go on sale. Prada does not go on sale, okay? Why? Because it costs what it costs. They're not trying to get average people to buy it. It is a luxury brand. If you've got the money, you can get Louis Vuitton. It's not going on sale. Same way that I see self-worth and value, right? And when I'm talking about my worth, I'm not talking about what I look like or what I wear or how many subscribers I've got or how many people are following me or my status or anything. I'm talking about my intrinsic value. And you guys need to know that we all have the same level of intrinsic value. Whether you've got money or you haven't got money, whether you're good looking or you don't think you're good looking, whether you have a good job or you don't have a good job, you are valuable. You are intrinsically valuable. And I did not know this for so long in my life. I would give myself away to the highest bidder. And sometimes it wasn't even the highest bidder. It was whoever was offering. Oh, okay, you like me. Yay, someone likes me. Yay, okay, I'll go. Because I just wanted to be accepted. When you don't know.
All right. Caking, let's start with you. What you take from that? Break it down.
So originally, when the email came through with what the topic was about, I was on this whole, I'm ready to play devil's advocate. I'm ready to, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm ready to just really shake up the whole, you know what I'm saying? But then after I listened to the audios, it just kind of made me want to touch on different things, but it didn't stray from what my actual point really remained. But she she mentioned intrinsic value, and she mentioned something about we all have the same intrinsic value. And I guess the way that relates to the point of view that I had was, how do you really like how do you really define first textbook definition of worth and value? They are synonyms. Textbook, according to Webster's dictionary. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, but really that's when I get to struggling with, I've never let what Webster or society defined as a word even
Exactly.
resonate with me, period. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I was like, okay, I'm ready to play devil's advocate on this, because what is worth? Like, what is value? That was the point that I originally wanted to take, because I was like, how can I sit here and tell you what something is worth? You get
Exactly.
what I'm saying? Just because it ain't worth something to me, does that mean that it's unworthy? You get what I'm saying? Does that mean that it's not of value? You get what I'm saying? And that was the point that I originally wanted to take.
Damn.
But when I seen that she was taking it on more like an intrinsic value, I was like, I don't really know what to say about that, because I value the janitor just as much as I value the CEO,
So
because
everybody
that
out
I'm
here,
more
all of y'all know what marble is, right? We know what marble is, right?
Yeah.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Marble,
Marble.
marble, actual
Oh,
marble, right?
yeah.
Most people don't know that there's a place called Marble, Colorado. I want y'all to go look this up. Marble, Colorado. They have big, I rode through there, small ass town, but they have, on the way there from Glenwood Springs, they have big ass blocks of marble, half the size of a car, literally on the side of the road. You ride past all these beautiful things, beautiful ass waterfalls, all of this. We're talking about value.
I see it. I'm looking at it
That
right now.
shit is everywhere out there. But to somebody, that shit is valuable. That shit has worth.
They love to put it on their countertops.
Blaze, what you got, man?
All right. So, you know what I mean? One of the main reasons why we wanted to do this conversation is because we feel like it's important for people to know the difference between value and worth, self-value and self-worth, right? You know, we hear a lot of talk. I've been hearing a lot of talk lately about, you know, the value and the worth, and a lot of people are putting them together as if they're the same thing when they're really not. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much the same thing. Now, they can be relatable, but they're not the same thing. You look at a person like Jay-Z. Jay-Z is a man of value and worth. The reason being is because he is a man of resources, connections, know-how, skills, trade, education, all of it, wisdom on top of the worth side, your worth, money, you know what I mean? Cars, clothes, houses, and so on and so on. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you look at the differences between knowing self-value and self-worth, your self-worth doesn't equate to your self-value. In order for you to understand what your self-worth is, you have to know what your self-value is first. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, okay, for an example, I got into a conversation with my cousin the other day on Facebook, and she put a post on Facebook, and she was like, you know, she's looking to start a clothing line, and she was like, how much should I charge, or how much would you pay for a t-shirt? Would you pay X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. All
at different markings of prices. And I had to hit her in her inbox, and I'm like, cuz, don't allow other people to put a value on you, on what your market is. Don't allow people to tell you what you're worth, and don't allow them to create your value, because what you're doing is you're telling them what your skills, you know what I'm saying, how much you know, and all of your knowledge and your work and everything that you've put into it. You're allowing them to put a price tag on it without you doing it. Just like in the excerpt said, Fendi, Louis, Prada, Gucci, all of them. The reason why they don't go on sale, and the reason why they are the reason why the prices are so high is because they know the value of the material, clothing, whatever you want to call it. They know the value of their product. They know how much their product is going to be worth. Mm-hmm. Those are two different things, but yet you have to understand both of them in order for you to place yourself in any type of market, regardless of whether you are trying to sell something or you're trying to put yourself in the industry somewhere. You're trying to sell yourself even. You get what I'm saying? Like, not, and I'm not talking about sell yourself as in sell yourself out. I'm talking about sell yourself as in, I am the guy to go to. This is who I am. This is what I know. This is what I do. Right. You don't allow nobody to set your market. You know what I'm saying? Because that all comes in with you knowing self-value first, then your self-worth.
So they talked about Rolls Royce as vehicles, right? And I'm gonna let you go on and do your thing, Kate. They talked about Rolls Royces as far as vehicles and how they're handcrafted. In the audio, she said that, you know, they never go on sale, right? You just don't want, Rolls Royces know that they have a market. They don't want to promote, push, or sell those cars at all to people that can't afford them. So for everybody watching this video, when you talked about everybody shouldn't have access to me, right? Period. If you are that Rolls Royce, then you know, like, I really don't need to, with all due respect, I need to really, I need to kind of keep myself away from them, because you got to know the value. You know what I'm saying? My mindset and where I'm going, my trajectory, my projection, where I'm going in my life, them people not going with me. That's no disrespect to them, but this value right here ain't on sale. And it's just,
I want to say, I appreciate this podcast just because of the fact that originally I had came in with the mindset of like, something can be of value, but not worth the efforts. You get what I'm saying? And so then to hear how you guys made I'm kind of took the conversation to a business mindset rather than the spiritual mindset that I was in. But at the same time, I see how they still correlate, because something may be of value, but not worth the efforts. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's probably I don't know if we could cuss. It's probably 100.
You good. Go ahead.
It's probably 100 hood niggas. You know what I'm saying? Out there that would love to wait for Rolls Royce to go on sale. And do you know how much money they would make? But that's not worth it to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That spike in the market might be of value, but it's not worth the efforts. To them, it's not worth dropping the prices just so somebody can, you know what I'm saying, go buy 100 Rolls Royce for everybody in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
I know
Right,
the
right,
average
right.
person, when they heard hustle culture, right, they're automatically gonna think hustle. So hustle is always correlated to money. They're automatically thinking that it's monetary. But when you think about Michael Jordan, you think about LeBron, you think about anybody, Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, every one of these people, their grind, their hustle, all started with the self-belief, self-worth mindset. And that is
Right.
hustle culture is not just one thing. It is mind, body, and spirit. We got to
And,
manifest this shit in the physical. Go ahead, Blaze.
and Ken, you absolutely right though, because even though we are talking about, you know, saying things on a more business aspect, it still correlates with your spirit too. Because in order for you to know yourself and know your value, you still have to know yourself within. To know
Right.
yourself within is you have to connect with yourself spiritually within. A lot of and that's what a lot of people don't realize is that even those who are just dead focused on whatever they're doing and they're figuring out themselves and they're finding themselves and they get that little switch. They had to, regardless of whether they believe in, you know, God or the Most High or you even spirituality, they're still tapping
Right.
in. They're still tapping into an energy, regardless of that, you know, it's the universe or whatever, however they want to put it. They're still
Or just
tapping in.
simply themselves.
Yeah, they're still
Simply just tapping into themselves.
they still have you still have to tap into yourself. You get what I'm saying? Which is still you know, regardless, you call it spiritual, you call it the energies, whatever you want to call it, you still have to
Mental.
still have to tap into that. So I mean, this is one of the reasons why we're having this conversation, because these are things that I'm learning. You know, Fresh is learning. You obviously on that journey.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So these are things that these are the type of conversations I'm gonna take it back way back to when we first started, right? We had a brother on the show, Brother Chose, and he kept asking us this one particular question.
Yeah.
What's your demographic? What are you doing? Who are you hitting? Who's your target market, and where you going? Who's your target audience?
Right. Right.
And because Fresh and I were still trying to find our value in what we were doing, we couldn't give an answer. We was just shooting for the gun, putting out whatever we could. You know what I'm saying? We started grabbing traction, and you know what I mean, for like little stupid videos here and there. You know what I mean? Like some, well, I ain't gonna say all of our videos was that way, but we had a couple of videos. We
Can I make a comment from a like a viewer's perspective?
yeah, go ahead.
I've been following the page for a minute. I tune in, you know what I'm saying? I usually be late to it, but I make sure I tune in.
And we didn't even know you was watching this motherfucker. That's what fucked me
Listen,
up. That threw me
trust and
off.
believe.
That. Go ahead.
Trust and believe that homework is always essential. You know what I'm saying? And I had to, you know me, everything's a chess move. I had to calculate how to present myself to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have simply just been another viewer or another sharer, or I could have been somebody who hit y'all inbox like, yo, that one video really hit home.
Yeah.
Give me some more content like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of basically how this started, but it didn't ended up here. But what I wanted to say, I noticed that you said dumb videos. Y'all dumb videos hit the most views. And it's just so crazy. Y'all talk about NBA.
So you studying it like that?
Y'all talk about
okay.
Mill, view.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's just like, but I don't really I don't come here for that. You know what I'm saying? But I do be thoroughly entertained and I do watch it. But that's not what I come here for. So what I think the dopest part about the page to me is the title itself lets you know, like, hustle and it's 2 words. It's composed of 2 words.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I feel like y'all, and I love that y'all touch on the hustle part the most. That's very, but y'all don't even realize how y'all are really tapping into the definition of culture. Because, you know, y'all might have thought the Meek Mill or the NBA Youngboy video was a dumb video. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get up there and talk about Tory Lanez. Y'all might think, but so many people is tuning in like, let me see if y'all had the same opinions as me. Let me see what y'all talk about. Let me see if y'all know something I don't know. When you think of stuff like the Shade Room is a very essential page to the Instagram community mainly, but they're branching off to their own website, you know, stuff like that. But all they do is post Black news. I'm talking about anything you could think of,
Everything
whether it's
Black culture, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about whether it's some cheerleader in seventh grade that just came up with a raw ass cheer, some new viral like whether like, and then at the same time they provide a platform for, you know, the first
Right.
Black entrepreneur to sell products in Target and stuff. So
Which
that's kind of how I think of hustle culture. Like it just
which you know what I'm saying, like going back to the story, you know what I'm saying, when I say dumb videos, I mean like dumbed down videos. I don't mean like dumb videos.
I know what you mean.
But
I know
you
what
know what I'm
you
saying,
mean.
like, but we Fresh and I also had to take it and sit back and look at there are some things that, you know what I'm saying, we don't want to report on no more because we want to keep on uplifting. Like, you know what I'm saying, like what you're saying is
Right.
it's cool, it is good. Like when we like the Meek Mills and you know, Meek Mill still in Ace Hood's flow or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's not the negative side of things. Those are just, you know, cultural things that we talk about in
That was a
the
real
hip
bomb ass
hop
topic.
community. But the thing about it is though, is that we also want to continue to keep elevating too. And we also want to make sure that we inspire each and every viewer, you know what I'm saying, people like yourself who was watching us, to start, you know what I'm saying, tapping into their self-worth and start seeing like, okay, you know what? These young men over here, they coming from nothing. They, you know what I'm saying, and they working, they grinding, they hustling, trying to get it. They're creating something out of nothing. They're doing whatever they can to get whatever it is they need. I can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I want to tap into it just like they want to tap, just like they trying to tap into it. And now we also want them to understand, like, we starting off just like they are.
Yeah.
We hitting the bricks running just like they are. Mm-hmm. So for anybody that might feel like they behind or ain't caught up to somebody who they feel like they should be, no, you got to know your self value and your self worth first. Because what helped them catapult themselves into their lane is because they already knew their self value. We figuring out our self value right now. You know, Fresh with, you know, his cryptocurrency, he running the game up with that right now. You know what I mean? I'm doing my legacy branded. I'm dropping that slowly, piece by piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you with your music.
Let me jump into what you're saying about that, Blaze. You will know that is for you when the magic starts happening, because you kept saying something, KD, that's real. It's manifest. That's effortless. That's coming to you. Blaze has got people on there that I'm not even expecting to say, I want that shirt. I need that shirt. And when you got street dudes that's really in the streets, I need that shirt. I want that one. That's what I want right here. On his post, that's effortless manifestation. KD, yours has happened in so many different ways. You've been through so much. I just think it's like a golden era for all of us for what we doing. And all we got to remember is the culture of hustle is whatever we bring into the table and whatever we doing. Yours is the music. Blaze is legacy branded. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I want to, where y'all going with that? I'm glad y'all took it there, because then that leads back to the conversation we had previous before we hopped on here. That mountain, that journey up your mountain.
Yeah.
You know, divine effortlessness.
Yeah.
Divinely and effortlessly, you're going to make it up that mountain one way or another. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, once you, I love the topic of self-worth. I love the topic of self-value. I love that. But I don't really know how to correlate that back to the backpack.
Well, really what it comes down to is this, right? I think I kind of understand where you're going is. What's meant for you is for you. It's already,
and nobody can take that. Nobody can define that. Right.
Well, we got a part to do. And I think that's what the people don't realize when they talk about the law of attraction and manifesting stuff is we got to get out and grind every day. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how many times I talk about being financially free and not wanting to work a job. If you cannot skip the process, you can't skip steps in the process. When you got to work a job, for everybody watching this, I'm building these cryptos and people are effortlessly, like I got people that's not even in with me, but they know I'm on this. So they redirecting people to me. And I'm trying to get this person in.
That's your 9 to 5.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So don't skip steps in the process just because you work in a job. If you want to be financially free and you believe in it, this we're talking about self-worth and self-value and value in yourself. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and what you cannot do. There's people already trying to tell Blaze, why is he building his legacy branded? Because he knows what it is. Cake and Daily, there's so many people that told you along the way, or you could feel the vibe that motherfuckers didn't really believe in you with the music, and you kept going anyways. And you went through a lot of transformations. Like, you done lost a whole lot of weight. That was a whole transformation. And then
wait.
After you lost the weight and you were around the weight that you are now, you still spiritually had to go through a whole nother metamorphosis.
So this is a whole nother thing. No, this is a whole nother thing, right? So we gonna talk, since we talking about value and self-worth, self-value and self-worth. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna not minimize Miss Cake into the just the music thing.
Yeah.
Because she told me something that she wanted to do with herself.
Yeah.
And told me what direction she wanted to head into. So I kind of want you to speak on that, because right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the platform so you can put it on live. That way, this is going to catapult you and force you into that realm, because you know this is receipts, this is documents. So I want you to tell everybody what it is that you really want to do, because I don't think Fresh actually really understand what you want to do or heard it.
The original reason why I had inboxed about getting on the platform is because I really wanted to touch on the topic that, if you think about who I used to be, I'm talking about hot-headed. You couldn't tell me nothing. I'm talking about I don't give a, like, you couldn't, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I really realized that I was hindering myself. I was arrogant. I was blocking myself off from a lot of stuff. But then once I began to free myself, I realized that my purpose here is to help other people free themselves. And so when I seen this platform, I was like, this is a perfect way for me to tell people, like, look, if I could fucking change, anybody could fucking change. Because my biggest problem was I would look at you and go, I don't give a fuck. That's how I am. I'm not going to change. Not for you, but one day I changed for me, and I was like, damn, other people need to do this for themselves.
What was the block though? I mean, like, because everybody got different traumas, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and Blaze.
And I was gonna say, you know, trauma is such a strong word, because, you know, and this is a little off tangent, but I'm gonna be a little blunt about it. You know, a lot of people say trauma is related to stuff like you're gay because you were probably sexually, you know what I'm saying? You know, people relate trauma. And I'm like, no, my trauma was myself. My trauma was myself. When I think back to everything I went through as a kid, it was like I wanted to hold on to that. It was like I wanted to be that. I wanted to be that foster kid whose dad was in prison, whose mom was stripping and selling. Like, I wanted to hold on to that. It was like, yeah, that made me me. And it was like, no, shed all of that shit. The ego, shed all of that shit. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth nothing. And it is not of value on your way up this mountain. It's just going to be way heavier. You get what I'm saying? So once I realized that my block was myself, I said, do you know how many people, how many creatives in this world? A psychology lesson I had took in college basically said something like there's 4 personality types, A, B, C, and D. And it got to breaking them down, like A is a perfectionist, everything got to be a certain way. And then it got to C, which basically explained creatives. We said we ended up working at dead-end jobs and never living to our full potential. And it kind of offended me, because I was like, that's not true. That's not true. We just don't realize that we are our own obstacle. We just don't realize that we're telling ourselves that we're only worth $12 an hour. We're telling ourselves that our boss can talk to us and treat us like shit. We're telling ourselves that we can wake up every day at the crack of dawn and put in overtime and they still don't know my fucking name.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And once I realized that, I said, KB, so many other people need to hear this. So many other people need to hear, like, stop carrying yourself like you think they see you. Carry yourself how you see yourself and watch how everybody will start looking.
Listen,
and a lot of people gonna want to look away.
And Blaze, you know I'm gonna let you take this and I'm gonna let you run with it. That is the definite. What she just said is the difference between value and worth. Your value is what the fuck they want to pay you at your job. But the difference is, let me tell you something, dog, that most people don't know. Your cousin Shia was one of the 4th person, Frankie, that told me, Blaze, that told me, she said, and I'm just gonna say it, she said, Riley, like, you ain't never thought about being a motivational speaker. And I was like, she's like the 4th person that told me that. When people can see your light, God put people divinely on your path to speak into your life. and tell you or guide you and direct you on what you're supposed to be doing. People
see, that's the thing. That's the thing with her. That's the thing with her. With Shia, you know what I'm saying? She knows how to see a person's gift and talents. She knows how to see that. She knows how to see a person's worth. Whether she's direct with you, whether she's direct with you or indirect with you, she can see your value, see your worth. She can see you at your worst and still see your worth or see your value.
Bro,
and see what you're.
I spoke after you did at Brenda's funeral, bro. And that was when she told me, we went out the main room into the lobby, into the little hallway. And when she said that to me, I was fucked up, bro. I just stood there like.
See, I can't be no motivational speaker. That ain't my thing. You know what I mean? I'm doing. See, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only reason why I'm on the podcast because my brother wanted me to get on it. He baited me and talked about some. Yo, you've been pushing me to do the podcast. I need you on the door. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. I mean, I'm really not like a public speaker type dude like that.
But we're talking about like self-worth, dog, and KD like hit the nail on it. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit.
Right. But that's why I wanted her to tell. That's why I wanted her to tell that story because you know what I mean. Even though, like I said, the conversation we had before we got on air, you know what I mean. Like we all going to view things differently. We all going to see things differently, and the definitions of things might slightly translate differently for us. But at the end of the day, what it all boils down to it, which is the reason why I had KD go ahead and tell that story, is because it brings it all right back around to what we were saying. Your value. You understood what your value was once you realized that you had to shed your skin from all the traumas and all the hurt and all the pain and all the yays and nays and all the extra fake, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Once you shed all that, you started seeing your true value. Trust me, I know I've been through the same thing. I've had people tell me what I was worth, and I had people tell me what my value was. I've had people who said that they would support me and rock with me, and then didn't do it and make me second guess my value because I'm looking at these people that said, oh, yo, I got your back. Oh, yeah, I'm rocking with you. Oh, yeah, I support you. And then they ain't nowhere to be found. That caused you to second guess your value. But once you shed all that, like you said, and let that go, then that's where before we jumped on the podcast, that's where you determine whether or not you got a bunch of bricks, cement bricks in your backpack, or you got bricks of gold in your backpack.
That's when you determine. Take it back there. Yeah, I was just gonna take it back because where you said like you had a lot of people. I'm gonna give an example.
Like I got people today that still don't like me or still doubt me or still down talk me. Listen, we got about 5 minutes, so we gotta hurry up and get this going. So.
Okay. Basically, real quick, I guess this example could lead into. I'm gonna piggyback off what you said and then lead into my conclusion. You know, I went through that. Friends, I done had friends throw money at the investment. Like, look, let's do this together, and still turned out to not even be for the cause. And so that's when I really had to say to myself, you know, this journey up my mountain, I took from this situation and I put it in my backpack, and now I kept on moving because if I would have took more than what I learned from that situation, my backpack would be heavy. You get what I'm saying? So I just like to keep my relationships light in my backpack and my wisdom abundant of this journey.
KD, so, out of every book that you've read, if you could only you had to leave this earth and you had to leave a person one book that they had to read out of every book you've read, which one would it be? This is off subject, but I just want to throw this out there.
You're gonna have to let me go through my camera roll. Hold on.
Oh, damn.
That's what you don't understand. Like every time I finish a good book, I take a picture of it and I store it in the album.
Out of every
I'm not joking. This is crazy.
KD, her fucking brain is a labyrinth, bro. And I'm digging for that motherfucker, bro. Her brain is a labyrinth. You feel me? Anybody that's ever watched the book or the movie, anybody that's ever watched the movie Labyrinth, this is what I'm doing right now. That movie is deep. The Labyrinth. I highly suggest y'all go watch that.
I guess this has got to be my favorite one.
What you got?
It's called The Four Agreements.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
That's probably.
That's what's up. Out of every book you could have said, it was nothing related to success or money or none of that shit. It was related to yourself. Trey Blaze, you got anything else, man, in closing? Because we're gonna wrap this one up, bro. And if we need to, we can do a part 2 to this someday.
We can always do a part 2 if we need to, but I mean,
Loving a part 2.
you said what?
I said loving a part 2. Like I said, I'm enjoying myself more than I had, meditated to believe so, and I'm just glad that it manifested into this.
I mean, in closing, you know what I mean? Like, this is something that even through life, as you become more familiar with it, more familiar with yourself, your self-value, your self-worth, it's still going to be a journey of learning it, because as we get older, we change, things change, situations change all the way around us. You get what I'm saying? So you always have to reevaluate and reassess yourself. So, I mean,
Right.
at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, as long as, and when I say we, I mean, everybody watching this video, anybody who sitting in the room politicking about what we talking about, all of that, as long as we sit back and we constantly reevaluate and then making sure that we stay in tune with ourselves, we'll be all right. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
don't stop what the fuck you're doing. You know what I mean? We got to keep going and keep grinding and keep pushing. Every day, strive to be a better person, be better than 5 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? So as somebody said, I want to be a better man than yesterday. I want to be a better man than 5
I say that all the
minutes
time.
ago.
I've grown since my last sentence.
Right.
I've grown since my last sentence.
You know what I mean? One thing I will say though in closing is do not allow nobody to dictate what your value is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because the moment you allow them to do that, then they have all control of who you are.
That's real shit.
Right.
That's real shit.
I like that. That's about masculine.
That's what's up, Blaze.
Fresh, what's your closing statement?
Bro, you pretty much summed it up, man. I had some
We're gonna let you have it. You did it. You got it.
I had some shit on my mind, but it was just basically being out in these mountains, man, coming from Michigan, it just let me understand that like you got to be separated. You really do got to be set aside. The narrow path, people think that's just about religion, but when you're set aside, you have no choice but to spiritually be at war with yourself. And it's not just war, but you're finding and digging for the depths of your soul. You got to find out who you are, and you cannot do that by being in your distractions. So you got to be set aside. Right. And that shit is fucking lonely. I've been through a lot out here, dog. I done cried out here. I went through a lot of shit out in these mountains by myself.
Hey,
yeah.
Wait till y'all hear this next project. Think about when y'all hear this next project. I want you to think about how you just said that shit is lonely.
Hey, we running out of time. We're running out of time. We got to close this up real quick before we
Oh, this is Hustle
Culture.
Welcome, Cake and Daily. Shout out to my brother Blaze the God, man.
Yeah, she on the team.
Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man, because
I appreciate it.
Shit coming, man. This labyrinth right here, I'm digging inside her soul. I need everything out that motherfucker. Let's work.